Over the last 10 years, World of Tanks has had many bright moments. Update 1.10 is the next big step for the game. It's so big that we want to get right to the point without any further delay. Let's begin. The first big new feature is the fully reworked equipment system. The changes will be apparent the moment you launch the game. Now the number of slots for equipment and consumables depends on the vehicle's tier. Neither will be available for Tier 1 vehicles. These vehicles can't experience fires, their crews can't be injured, and the modules can't be damaged, except for suspension, but even that's for a shorter time. At Tier 2, you can mount one equipment item and one consumable. The crew is still invulnerable, but modules can be damaged. Fires can also happen, but they deal reduced damage. At Tier 3, there are 2 slots for equipment and consumables. Fires still deal reduced damage. And starting at Tier 4, all 3 slots are available for both equipment and consumables. Module damage and fire mechanics return to normal from here on. Like before, you can mount any equipment items available for the vehicle in these slots. Equipment itself is divided into 4 categories: firepower, survivability, mobility, and scouting. Starting at Tier 6, the first slot is designated as one of these categories. It depends on the vehicle type: survivability for heavy tanks, mobility for medium tanks, scouting for light tanks, and firepower for SPGs and tank destroyers. If you mount an equipment item of the same category in this slot, it will provide an improved effect. There are new equipment items, while some old equipment and their bonuses were combined. The new equipment allows you to create previously unavailable combinations that improve your vehicle in very different ways. Some of them can considerably change typical battle behaviors. Most equipment is divided into 3 classes featuring different prices and tier availability. The camouflage net and spall liner are the exceptions to this. With this update, the old equipment will be replaced with new equipment based on the reworked system. All improved equipment on your vehicles will be automatically unmounted and moved to the depot. All players will receive demounting kits for free to reconfigure their vehicles. Additional kits may be obtained by completing daily missions or purchasing with credits. You can learn more in a separate video and in a special article on the portal. The updated equipment system gives players a chance to experiment and create new, unusual tactics. That includes tactics using the latest vehicles. The new Polish medium tanks are the stars of Update 1.10. 6 vehicles from Tier 5 to Tier 10 are ready to blast onto the battlefield. The branch starts from the 14 TP. The first vehicle is the DS-PZEs at Tier 5. It looks and feels like the Soviet T-34, but it has the gun of the 25 TP. With good penetration and high damage per shot, it's a great beginning to a great path. The next vehicle in the branch has a fun name, the BUGI, or Boogie. Playing in it is also fun. Just remember not to get too excited and forget to hide your high profile. At Tier 7, players will find the CS-44. The 300 damage per shot from its 100mm gun will let you exchange hit points with enemies at a favorable rate. Next is the CS-53, a medium tank with a truly Polish spirit and almost no compromises. Its great gun with -8 degrees of depression allows it to use terrain as a stepping stone to great victories. The Tier 9 CS-59 vehicle behaves in a similar way on the battlefield. The great elevation and depression angles enable it to take positions that are not suitable for other vehicles of the same tier, but for the CS-59, it's just right. The top vehicle in the branch is the CS-63. It combines all the best characteristics of its predecessors: good damage per shot and DPM, nice accuracy, -8 degrees of gun depression, nice dynamics, but it has one feature that sets it apart from other Polish vehicles and all other vehicles in the game. It has a gas turbine engine with two modes, Standard and Rapid. In Standard mode, the CS63 is a classic medium tank, but by switching to Rapid mode, the engine power, acceleration, and top speed increase. The CS63 practically becomes a light tank. Of course, high speed comes at a price. First off, the switch between modes is not instantaneous. To change the engine mode, you need to come to a complete stop. Second, Rapid mode causes the gun characteristics to drop considerably. The stabilization and aiming time don't allow it to shoot like normal. Finally, in Rapid mode, the vehicle is more likely to be spotted. But Rapid mode enables players to perform tactical maneuvers that cannot be done by other medium tanks, such as taking the best positions at the beginning of a battle, or changing positions mid-battle, or performing sudden flanking attacks, and always being where help is most needed. The gas turbine engine really allows the CS63 to shine. The new Polish mediums will soon take their rightful place among other medium tanks, and the top vehicle might just become a favorite among those who like this vehicle type. Aside from new vehicles, this update also includes balance changes. The Object 430U and the Progetto 65, as well as their predecessors, the Object 430 and the Standard B, are pretty good high-tier vehicles. But, as statistics and player feedback show, they are often too good. So, in order to balance their battle performance compared to other vehicles, we decided to tweak some characteristics. The armor of the gunners and commanders' cupolas was reduced on the Object 430U. They are now easier to penetrate. And firing on the move and during turret traverse is less effective because of increased dispersion. The Tier 9 Object 430 also had its dispersion increased. Noticeable balance changes were also made to the Progetto 65. Now its turret traverse is slower. Aiming time is slower, and dispersion is higher, including dispersion after firing. The Standard B was changed in a similar way. Also, you can no longer mount a gun rammer on any Italian vehicle with an auto-reloader. The vehicles will still be able to maximize the advantages of the auto-reloading system, but with corrected efficiency. This also concerns the Progetto M35 Mod 46 premium vehicle, but in its case, the gun characteristics were changed as if a standard gun rammer had been mounted on the vehicle, and the now empty slot can be filled with something else. With the release of Equipment 2.0, there will be a lot of options. You can learn more about all the changes in the article on the portal. The balance changes will slightly clip the wings of all four of these vehicles, but their key features will be fully preserved. The same goes for another vehicle type. Wheeled vehicles have been quite controversial among players for some time. Sometimes these vehicles act too aggressively on the battlefield without any visible drawbacks. With Update 1.10, players will have to be more cautious when using them. Now, damaged wheels slow the vehicle down more significantly, and slow vehicles are easier targets. The updated suspension damage mechanics also affected the Panhard EBR 75 FL10 premium vehicle. However, it's compensated with specific physics settings. The behavior of this vehicle is the same in the new system as it was before. Additionally, the general acceleration dynamics and top speed of wheeled vehicles have decreased, as well as the effectiveness of their guns. Now these vehicles are not as big of a threat, and the cost of risky maneuvers went up considerably. But Update 1.10 also introduces some positive changes to the characteristics of some vehicles. Heavy tanks of three nations have found their second wind: the IS-4, the T-110E5, the E-100, and several other vehicles from their branches have received a long-awaited characteristics boost. The IS-4 still works best as a frontline tank. It's harder to penetrate head-on, and the turret and hull now move faster, which will allow the vehicle to react quicker to changing situations. The Top Gun is now more suitable for close-quarters combat. It's slightly less accurate, but it aims and reloads faster. Additionally, the dispersion on turret and hull traverse decreased. The characteristics of other vehicles in the branch, the ST-1, the KV-4, and the KV-3 were also changed regarding close combat. The T-110E5 is still the same universal soldier with good armor and imposing firepower. But it now has higher damage per minute and lower dispersion. The M103 and T-32 have also become forces to be reckoned with on the battlefield. The super heavy E-100 was improved in the places where it was most expected. The front of the turret received additional armor. It's no longer so easy to penetrate the E-100's cheeks. In addition, the vehicle received an updated alternative gun that's better suited for close combat. It's not as accurate, but it has a better rate of fire and higher damage. And the 15cm gun now aims faster. The E-100 became more comfortable to play in. Other vehicles in the branch, starting from Tier 6, now have better, more effective guns. And on top of that, each vehicle had its turret armor improved. You can learn more about all the changes in the article on the portal. And when you join the battle in the revamped Tier 10s, you'll suddenly realize that you're earning more bonds now. And it's not only about the improved effectiveness of the vehicles. With Update 1.10, the old system of earning bonds was replaced with a new one. Previously, players could get bonds in different ways, but there were only two permanently available possibilities. Same tier battles in Tier 10 vehicles or earning epic or battle hero achievements in vehicles Tier 4 and higher. But you couldn't predict how many bonds you would get by the end of the battle in either case, because there's no guarantee you'll get into a same tier battle or that you'll perform well enough. The new system is more transparent and predictable. Now, bonds are no longer credited for medals and achievements, but you can get them when playing in Tier 10 vehicles in grand battles or any random battle, even when there are Tier 8 and 9 vehicles. The rules are clear and simple. Players in the top 3 on the winning team by experience earned receive 7 bonds. Players in the top 10 earn 5 bonds. If it's a defeat or a draw, the number of bonds will be slightly different. 5 for the top 3 and 3 for the top 10. In grand battles, the conditions are similar. The only difference is that you have to get to the top 20 or top 6 on your team by experience earned. Every Tier 10 vehicle can earn up to 100 bonds each week. The current number of earned bonds can be seen by hovering the mouse cursor over a vehicle in the carousel. The value is reset every Monday morning, and you can go hunting for bonds again. The new system allows for a clearer understanding of bond crediting mechanics and predicting their receipt. And the renewed bond store offers more options for spending the earned bonds. It's much more enjoyable going to a location with incredible beauty if you're in a newly purchased rare vehicle. The good old Pearl River map is finally back. After it was removed from the game, it didn't make it to the list of revamped maps for Update 1.0. But now it shines in the rays of the eastern sun. The map size is 1,000 by 1,000 meters. It's available for standard and encounter battles in vehicles from Tier 3 to Tier 10. Pearl River changed not only visually but also in terms of gameplay. The old version suffered from its corridor-like layout. There was not enough space in certain areas. The developers tried to fix this and some other problems by removing 2 narrow spaces and adding new details. The village on the hill is at the center of the map. This is an important spot for seizing the initiative and having lines of fire in many directions. Light and medium tanks will definitely be useful here. Slow and well-armored vehicles better go to the gorge. The cover there allows them to use armor more effectively and deliver fire at close range. More maneuverable vehicles will excel in the rice fields, covered by tank destroyers. They can carry out blistering attacks there. Pearl River returned with a fully revamped look. Now it's time to create new tactics and carry out bold moves, especially considering the new ways allies can coordinate their actions. The system of in-battle communication was reworked to become more clear, informative, and useful. It creates new opportunities and allows for more coordinated team action. If you point the cursor at any spot on the battlefield and press T, an attention to position marker will appear. If you point it at an enemy, a requesting fire marker will appear above them. If you point it at an ally, a request for support will appear. And if you point it at a base, a request for its capture or defense will appear. You can also state your intentions. To do so, press F2 in similar situations. You can inform your allies that you're going to move to a certain position, attack a particular opponent, help a selected ally, capture the enemy base, or protect your teams. You can even commit to markers of other players. Just hover the cursor over it and press T. The number of your teammates who are also ready to commit to this action is displayed next to the marker. Also, you can now plan the attack during the countdown before the battle. You can select one of the markers located in key directions and indicate that you're going precisely there. Other players can do the same. The number of players is then displayed next to the marker. All commands of the new system are available via the command wheel. The lower two are permanent, while the upper two depend on the object the cursor is hovering over. You can even thank any teammates who helped you. If you want to learn more about the new communication system, read the dedicated article on the website or join the battle and try it for yourself. And for the lone wolves who rely only on themselves, there's something interesting coming in August. Sometime after the release of Update 1.10, the second half of the big expedition will become available, Steel Hunter. This well-received mode is back. You can either play solo or in a platoon. Hunt for airdrops, set traps, stage deceiving maneuvers, face enemies head-on, and join the intense final clash. All of this is in Steel Hunter, and now it's available on 2 maps. In addition to the already familiar Dreamland, another memorable location will appear, Arzagir 404. All players can choose from 5 new tanks divided across 3 roles: sturdy survivalists, dangerous hunters, and a swift scout. They have their own unique abilities and combat features. Like before, tanks turn into more menacing vehicles as the battle progresses. There are now fewer progression levels and tech tree branches. However, thanks to more vehicles, game diversity improved. Get ready for unpredictable battles in Steel Hunter. All players will have the opportunity to earn many rewards and tokens to get one of 3 Tier 9 reward tanks: the Soviet Warrior Object 777 version 2, the French shooter Char Future 4, or the American Universal Soldier AE Phase 1. Expedition will be in full swing in August, but that's not the only major event of the month. The final act celebrating the 10th anniversary of World of Tanks will start very soon. New missions, new entries in the huge Project Chronicle, spectacular customization elements, and many surprises await, especially for those who have been playing for several years. Mark August 12th in your calendars. It's going to be a big day for every tanker. Update 1.10 is probably the biggest of this year, and there's a reason for that. The 10th anniversary is a big celebration, and you need to properly prepare for such an occasion. Good luck on the battlefield, Commanders.